Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2025 Ford Bronco in the Stroppe edition. This vehicle is sitting on a set of 315/70 Goodyear tires wrapped around 17-inch alloy wheels with a matte black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all four wheels. Very impressive exterior colors. It really gets attention. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, that is a great color combination. So it has the Oxford white, code orange colors here on the body, and then a blue hardtop, looking nice. And then the hood and the tailgate are a matte black. It looks so cool, just really nice. So here in the front, it has a multi-reflector headlight system, and I have a night video if you want to check it out and see how the headlights and everything works. It has a 360 camera system. One of the cameras is right here in the center, integrated nicely. There's also parking sensors around the vehicle, front and back. Now it has tow hooks as well, functional recovery hooks basically. But yeah. Now this place right here, it kind of looks like you would put like a winch or something in here, but it actually has some cooling. It has the radar adaptive cruise control sensor here, and then it has the little louvers in there, so they're open and close depending on how much cooling it needs. Same thing behind the grille as well. Now this bumper, you can take pieces off of. If you need a better approach angle, you can take this piece right here off and you can get a better approach angle. So it comes with a tool set where you can take these pieces off. You can take the tops off and everything, the doors off, all that stuff. So yeah, this is definitely made for off-roading and off-road capable vehicle for sure. So it has these tie downs. It has places for accessories to mount here and here, up here. It has a mast antenna. I thought that was kind of interesting. And it's pretty flexible. Flexes down here pretty good. Now this side step, very handy because it is fairly high off the ground. But you can take this part off here, and then you're left with the rock rail. So you can keep the rails there. You just unscrew here and take this off, and you have the sliders there on the side. Once again, off-road feature. It looks good. I mean, it looks good, and the steps are functional and everything. But yeah, that blue, orange and white combination looks good, especially with the matte black. So there's like this full-size spare tire. The camera is integrated nicely here in the center. Functional. There's the fixed recovery hooks as well, parking sensors back here. The exhaust is there on the right side, fairly well hidden up. Give decent ground clearance and everything. I have a night video showing you the tail lights and all the exterior lights. It has the zone lighting and everything. Pretty cool. So the Bronco is like a gloss black here, looking nice. And then the Ford emblem is over here and it's blacked out, looking really cool. That is nice. Okay, so this has the full proximity key. So you can see right here the key has the lock unlock ability to remote start, panic button, physical key on the inside, has Bronco on that side. So you can just use the key 100%, use the vehicle 100% just by having the key with you. Even this back door. So it has a sensor back here to unlock the door and then the sensor there to lock it. But yeah, even the inside is that matte black. I guess it might be like a satin black, but then there's a place for accessories to go here, similar to a Jeep basically. Now this lifts up. It has a rear wiper integrated with this hardtop. Now the hardtop, you're able to take these sides off. Now it comes off in sections, so you can get this center part right here. You can take that off, and then the front comes off like T-tops. But these side pieces right here in the back, you would need help to take that off, right? And a tool as well to take that off. But yeah, you can take it off in sections. If you just want to quickly take off these little center pieces here, you can do that and have the open air experience without taking the whole thing off, right? Okay, so this is the cargo area, and this floor is rubberized, which I really appreciate. Putting things back here, they don't slide around or anything. It's like a very rubbery, sticky type rubbery material, and yeah, that's good. Some vehicles have like a hard plastic, and when you put things back here, your equipment or whatever it is you have back here is sliding around. It also has the tie downs, which is great. I like the way it has a little lasso there, it's cool. This lifts up and you have the jack and tools for the spare tire. And then there's a little storage area here. It does have a little drain plug. I guess if it rains or something, and if you have the tops off and water gets in there, you could do that. Drain the water out. But this is a hard plastic here. And so basically, whatever you put in this compartment is gonna slide around, right? And it's gonna drive you nuts. So what you probably wanna do is get like a cloth or a mat to go in there if you're gonna use this. Or just don't put things that are gonna slide around, like gloves or, like a repair kit or something like that. So there's subwoofer here. Has a single light here on the right side, which is not all that great if you want to check out the night video and see why. 12-volt power supply on this side. You got some speakers here. And the speakers, this sound system, I'm kind of like divided on it because when I first got in it, it didn't sound good at all. And I had to really play around with the sound settings to get it to sound good. But once I did, it was good. But it was just like, it just doesn't sound good unless you have the settings right. It's one of the, and I guess it depends on what you're listening to as well. So here's the cables right here for taking off the top. And it has a place for this to plug in here just to keep the cable from getting messed up or get dirty or whatever. And this one here is for the washer, for the rear wiper there. So you got the rear wiper, and then you got the connections for the power and stuff. And it has these little Easter eggs, so you can see it has these little things going on here. So yeah, in different places there'll be little things, like there's like a little mountain and stuff over there, and it's kind of neat to kind of look around the vehicle. I think Jeep started that year, what, 2014, 2015, something like that, and everybody's just been having fun with it. But yeah, these roll cage is all white, so it matches the vehicle, looking good. The seats back here are, I would say they are usable. You just have to compromise, probably it will have to compromise the legroom for the driver and passenger here in the front. But, not bad. It does have the car seat attachments here on both of these rear seats. There's cup holders, and you got some connectivity back here. So here is a power inverter, and then USB-C ports. But yeah, usable. Now the way you fold these seats down has like a little strap here. Now this bottom of the seat is just sitting here. It's not latched or anything. You just pull it forward and flip it up, basically like that, like so. Now we take this seat and we release it here, and that headrest folds back like that, and then it'll fold down. So that's the folding of the seat, and that's the position. So it's not completely flat with the rest of the floor, but it does give you a flat surface up there, which you can put, maybe the tops on there or something. I'm not sure exactly where they intend you to put the tops, but probably just take them off, put them in your garage, I guess, because it's not really, those are pretty big. And you would have to take up your whole room back here if you were to take the tops off. Lifting this seat up, there's no strap. A lot of vehicles will have like a strap that you can reach and grab and pull up. This one doesn't have it, so you kind of have to like reach up here quite a ways and grip it or pull on this, which is not really a good idea. There we go. So yeah, if it had like a strap right there like other vehicles have, so you can pull it up easier, that would be nice. The reason why I say this isn't a good idea to pull on, because it like digs into your fingers. You don't really get a good grip there. You have to kind of grab the seat because the spring is pretty strong. All right, so now when you pull it up, then you can just reposition this seat back where it was. Like I said, it just kind of flops there. It's not like secure at all. And check out the back of these front seats. So it has this webbing right here for putting stuff. Pockets, or not pockets, but like little hangers right here. That's the pocket. But then you have these MOLLE attachments here. So if you have like some packs or, something, you can attach there with a MOLLE that has MOLLE webbing on it. Now it shows a 7-pound maximum load on this, but But yeah, the molly straps can go in there. Kind of neat. And these seats feel really good. They're a special kind of like a vinyl cloth type material, and they feel really good. They feel quality, right? As far as comfort, they're okay, but as far as like the material, just feels really nice. It looks good, it feels good, and has that stitching in there as well. And the doors are pretty basic. They don't have the power window switches or anything. They just have the door locks, because these are removable, and you have this little net pocket there. And basically there's just a bolt here, and then a bolt here, and then there's a lift place right here to lift the door off, and then you unplug it here as well. It's a manually adjusted seat. You do have a height adjustment as well as tilt the back. You also have a lumbar adjustment here. You just turn this dial and it moves that part of the seat in or out, so you can get comfortable. Passenger side does not have the lumbar adjustment. It does have the height adjustment. There's the floorboard. I like these floor mats. They fit in there, contoured nicely. And it has this grip right here, handle, rubberized, feels good. Glove compartment's locking. Smooth plastic on the inside. Here's your toolkit. So yeah, it's a pretty good sized glove compartment. Smooth plastic. But the toolkit looks pretty cool. Nice little case here. And this is for the top, the doors, everything that you would need to, like take off or whatever if you're out and about. All right, so it has the sockets. It has the Torx bits here. Large Torx bit. There's sockets there. And there's some little rubber things right here. I'm not sure. I forget what these are for. And then you have the ratchet itself. It's kind of cool. It has Bronco written on it, but it doesn't have any kind of brand or anything. Let's go ahead and start it up here. In front of the driver's seat, the floor mat snaps in place. And once again, contoured nicely. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, and footrest. And I like the way this floor mat covers up that footrest a little bit there, so things don't slide behind it, the other vehicles. So under here, under the floor mat, I mean, it basically has like this like vinyl plastic floor, so it's pretty tough either way. It's not like a carpet or anything. Let's take a look under the hood. The latch for the hood is a little bit left of center, so you reach in and move it to the left, and you can lift up. Now it does require a prop to hold it up, but the hood is surprisingly light. It's probably aluminum. It feels very, very light and easy to lift up. Here's the prop here, and it swings up to right where that arrow is pointing. Engine compartment is sealed up pretty good. Has a lot of seals both in the front of the hood here, but also here. It controls the airflow fairly well. Not there on the sides though, no. It's not completely sealed up, and there's no insulation under the hood. The battery's easy to get to. It's also insulated here on the sides. Firewall's insulated. And it has that traditional rear-wheel drive oriented engine with the V6 going this way, transmission behind it, and then of course the rear end, and then four-wheel drive system and all that. But this is I like the way it doesn't have a big cover covering up the engine, so you can actually see something here. You can see one of the turbos there as well. Now this one has the V6. Now two-door with a V6, I think this is the only trim that you can get two-door with a V6. Now it's a 2.7 liter twin turbo V6 with a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now it has two different levels of power. So the first level on regular fuel would be 330 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. If you put premium fuel, you can get 330 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. Now this four-wheel drive system has front and rear locking differentials and internal bypass dampers, so it has a good suspension system for off-roading, large tires. There are also beadlock capable wheels as well if you'd like to go with that, 35-inch. It has a towing capacity of 3,500 pounds if you have the towing hitch and everything installed. 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. That sounds probably about right, I suppose. I like the way they added this white in here as well. Looks nice. That red Bronco popping out there. I guess it's orange, I suppose. But I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to give you an idea of the potential legroom. This is definitely too far back for me to drive safely. So I do have to pull it up a little bit. So if you're over 6 feet tall, shouldn't have any problem really driving the vehicle. Now it does diminish the passenger space behind you when you have the seat all the way back like this, but you know, there's still a lot of room. I mean, the back seats, they're usable, but partially, I suppose. To the left of the steering column over here, there's electronic parking brake, and you have the headlight switch with an automatic function. You can also turn off the headlights as well. And then you have the dimmer switch for the interior gauges, and then you have a zone lighting. This is actually like a little light that shines on the side of the vehicle. You can only do it when you're stopped or at low speeds, but at high speeds they won't turn on. And I show all that in the night video. These are part of the zone lighting lights, but you can turn those on simply by just pressing that button. It makes it easier, so instead of going through the screen. Now the steering wheel is very comfortable. It's soft, and it just feels good. The surface, the softness to it, the thickness, everything is really good about the steering wheel. Ford does a good job with them, typically. You have that kind of like gray going on here, looking nice. I like that Bronco in the middle. Now the buttons are sealed up, like it's a cover that seals up the buttons over top of the buttons, basically. So, you know, if you get rain or something in here, shouldn't be any problem. Now it has the cruise control here on the left side with the lane keep assist system, adaptive cruise control. You turn it on with a single button here, set, resume, cancel, all that stuff. Volume for the radio here, change to the tracks over here. You also have a single button for, you have a voice recognition button, but if you have a call coming in, you press that button to answer the call, and then you have a dedicated hang up button. I really like that. The rest of these buttons correspond with the gauges. We'll get to that in a second, because it's just basically a screen up here. Windshield wiper controls are here for the front and rear. So there's the front, there's the rear. Of course, turn signal as well. You got the handle here on both sides for getting in and out of the vehicle. I like the way this is kind of dished in over there. Just the overall aesthetics look really nice. Okay, so this gauge cluster, we have different views. So, and you can go through and change it a little bit. But right now it shows the engine coolant temperature, how many miles to empty with the fuel gauge there, the RPMs, and it has like that tough looking dial, digital speedometer, as well as like a little dial there as well. And what gear you're in, and the status of the stop start feature or the idle stop. I'll go ahead and turn that off. It has notifications like block the screen all the time. I don't really care for that, but yeah, that's the way it is. The fuel economy, this is what I've been getting, 17.8 average. Just kind of driving around my normal, and that's basically in line of what the window sticker says. Okay, so you have an up, down, okay. You also have this like menu button here and a back button, and we're going to use those. So just kind of going up and down, you can see that you can have different views here. Off-road use will be like your pitch and roll. Trip. Calm view is like this, just nothing hardly. Let's go back out of that. So that's basically right there, going through all that. Now you have this menu button right here, and you can go through and go down to the settings and choose what you want. Settings are here. You can change it to kilometers per hour if you need to. You also have the ability to neutral tow this vehicle, keep an eye on the maintenance, that kind of stuff. Go to Bronco information, seat belts, gauges. So we're gonna have these gauge cluster here if we would like. Off-road status. So we saw that before. Tire pressure. Navigation, we'll choose that. Go into, let's go to point of interest. Gas stations, since this thing needs gas. So it shows the nearest gas station. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's different views you can have. There's the gauges there. So yeah, there's different views, and it, you know, like it's somewhat customizable, but the main thing that it's easy to read, easy to understand. The speedometer is large and easy to see, and I really like the calm view, where it's just basically a very simple, it shows you when you need to get gas and it shows your speed, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, it's pretty, I think it's well done for the most part. I mean, you could have added more stuff here, but you know, as it is, it's fine. All right, so up here, this is interesting. I like the dash, the materials, the way it looks. Has like little places to put stuff. It has a 12-volt power supply up here. Now this, or USB-C, sorry. And this is handy for like if you want to plug in devices, but you can also, you know, whatever. You just have some power here on the dash. You also have a 1/4-20 screw right here, so you can mount a camera or whatever right here. So you can mount a radar detector, a camera, anything. So that 1/4-20 is very versatile for that kind of stuff. Switches up here for sway bar disconnect, front locking differential, rear locking differential. It also has, I'm gonna see what, I forget what it's called. It's called the Trail Turn Assist, available only in 4-wheel drive low or 4-wheel drive high. Trail Turn Assist is what they call it. But this thing has a crazy good turning radius already. But that'll give you a little bit better turning radius, you know, basically turn the vehicle around in a very small spot. And then you have the traction control off button there. If you need to spin tires or whatever, you can do that. If you need to spin tires for whatever reason, you can turn it off here, and then your four-way flashes are there. And this is, once again, all covered up with a like a rubber cover. So the entire thing is basically waterproof. And I think this material, the seat material, is a water-resistant material as well. This touchscreen has these little icons here at the bottom: audio, phone, navigation. So let's go start with audio here. Your different sources are AM, FM, satellite radio, and I also have my phone paired with Bluetooth. Here's where you pair your phones here. Navigation map is here. And we can zoom in and out. It goes pretty fast. See how far it'll go out. All right, so it's not gonna do the whole earth like some vehicles. But yeah, it's pretty good, snappy, all that stuff. You can do searches here, previous destinations, favorites, all that stuff. Different apps are here: Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You can even have YouTube, and then different mobile apps as well if you want to add to those as well. Settings, you can go into the different categories here. It also has wireless updates, and it'll like hey, we got an update ready for you. It's going to take about 3 hours. You want to do it now? And you're like out somewhere at the store or something. It's like, no thanks, just postpone it. And then you have these features right here. This is where you'll find the zone lighting, which I show that at nighttime. And then you have the driver assistance features here. You have an owner's manual. This could be handy in certain situations. If you're out and about and there's something that you need to find out. Apparently it takes a while to load up. All right, so searchable owner's manual, even better. And videos, nice. Exterior. Let's go to, let's just click that and see what happens.
Did you know that dirty glass or wiper blades are one of the...
Okay, so cool. It gives you a video teaching you stuff about your vehicle. That's pretty cool. So this little sidebar right here, you can cycle through different information and have it here on the side if you want. Including the map. Choose what you want. But yeah, kind of a quick rundown of what the screen is all about. It's fairly easy to use, different categories and stuff. All right, so down here is the volume for the radio. You can tune through the stations as well. Turn off the idle stop here. You also have a camera system which you can turn on. This gives you a top-down view here. Right now it's showing the front view. You can see the bumper all the way to the sky, so you have pretty decent visibility. In the front, the camera is in the center. In the back, it's in the center of the tire, so pretty good locations there. These lines are basically how wide the vehicle it is, including the side mirrors. So you have the vehicle here, and then you have the side lines there to kind of like give you a reference on how wide the vehicle is. Now you can have different views here. So you can have the front view, front super wide view here. This is handy for off-roading or just pulling out of a tight spot. But when you put it in reverse, then you have the back view with the active guidelines here. You can see they move when I turn the steering wheel. If you hit the plus, it'll give you the close-up of where you're going to back up to a trailer hitch. And then you also have the wide view, the more bigger view of the back of camera. And then you have this super wide view there in the back as well. So it gives you the view both ways, basically. So that's handy for biking out of the parking spot or something. All right, so you can access the camera when you put it in reverse or when you hit it, the button here. Now, when the parking sensor is activated, it doesn't automatically pop up the camera. I wish it did. It just pops up the little screen showing you where the object is, basically, as far as in relationship to the vehicle. But it would be nice to have that overlaid onto the camera system, or at least pop up the camera so I can see what's going on if there's something close to the vehicle. All right, so you can turn off the parking sensors, on or off the parking sensors there. Change to the tracks on the radio, play and pause whatever you're playing. You can turn off the radio here as well. Now the climate control is below here. So you have the driver and passenger temperature, in which you can have these synced like they are now. So right now I turn this and both of them are the same, right? But if I want to do this one separately, I'll turn this and it'll turn on dual, or you can just manually press in and push dual climate control. But if you want to turn it off, you can do that and it'll just sync it all together. Front and rear defrosters. You also have where you want the air to blow. The fan speed is here. Now, it has an automatic function, but it has 3 different settings for high, medium, and low automatic. So sometimes you want it automatic, you just want it to operate automatically, but you're kind of hot and you want it to, get kicked in gear, right? So you can go ahead and turn it up higher or lower. Heated steering wheel and heated seats. Heated steering wheel is just on or off. The seats are a 3-stage, high, medium, and low. So it's a 3-stage heated seat for the driver and the passenger. Now there's a little spot here. I got my phone in the way, but there's a little spot to put some stuff. Has a little rubber mat, which I appreciate. You can take out, clean it, put it back in. And it also has a USB-C and USB-A port there, and it's covered up. I like that as well. This does have a place for water to drain out. You can see a little thing right there. So there's a little drain on this. So once again, if you have the top off and it rains, apparently it's no big deal. Check out the shifter, looking nice. It's got a little American flag, the Bronco on it. So yeah, looks good, feels good. It's kind of, traditional. You can use it with gloves on, like a lot of the features in this vehicle. And check it out, Stroppe edition, little plaque, that's nice. All right, so the shifter is pretty straightforward. You can put it all the way down here into manual mode. So it has manual mode at the bottom, and then it has this button here at the side if you need to shift through the gears manually. So downshift, upshift, whatever you need to do. There's the cup holders, pretty straightforward. It does have a rubber mat in the bottom. So this is where you'll find a few things. Your 4-wheel drive control. So you have 2-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive automatic, and 4-wheel drive low. The center button is your trail control as well, so you can initiate that. It also has like a 1-pedal drive type situation as well. I don't have any experience with that. But the G.O.A.T modes, if you turn this dial, I'll show you here on the screen as I turn it. So there's slippery, normal, go back, slippery, eco, sand, mud ruts, Baja, rock crawl, and that's it. And it will kind of like set everything up for you for the most part with the 4-wheel drive system and everything. You're just telling the vehicle the terrain that you're going to be in, and it kind of helps you adapt to that best as possible. But yeah, pretty cool system, easy to function, easy to use basically. Over here is the power window switches. These are one-touch automatic windows, and they're fairly fast, I guess. Non-laminated glass. It does have the blind spot detection system, the indicators there on the side mirror. And then you have the side mirrors adjusted here. And once again, all these are covered up with rubber, plastic, or whatever, so that way water can't get in them. You just pick a side and then just adjust it with that little pad there. Now this armrest, yeah, it does latch, right? And it doesn't rattle or anything. But when you release it, you lift it up, it just flops back down. So you have to go all the way back. Otherwise, you just barely touch it and it flops down. So it's a little frustrating sometimes because it doesn't stay up as easy as it should, I think. It is locking. It does have a little lock right there. So if you have the tops off or whatever, you can lock stuff in the glove compartment or lock stuff in here. And have some level of security, I suppose. It does have the ability for wires to go in and out of this compartment. And it's basically just like let me get my business cards and stuff out of the way. But yeah, it's just basically a compartment there that it's got a little felt lining and a 12-volt power supply in here, which not really going to help with your radar detector because it's way over here. But it does have one. All right, so up here we have a whole bunch of auxiliary switches. So we can add, extra lights, light bars, pods, all kinds of stuff, and we can tie them to these switches and turn them on and off. Probably need to have some interior lights as well. Maybe you can attach it to those auxiliary lights. And you'll see in the night video what I'm talking about. So it has these little reading lights, and these are basically the interior lights as well. HomeLink garage door opener control. The visors are a plastic vinyl type material. It's basically a plastic. It's like a polypropylene, I think. It feels good, very durable. It's got a clip there, mirror with lights. And yeah, these tops right here, I like the way they have this like carpet on the inside. It keeps the echo a little bit down. But you can release them here, and take these front pieces off like T-tops. And in the back section is separate. It's like a little sunroof thing that can open up. You can take that out. But the rest of it stays in until basically you can take out everything, like that back window and the rear glass and everything. You just need a little bit of help with that. It's a little bit harder to manage by yourself. Audiophiles might not like the sound system. Ford can make a really good sound system. I've experienced it in an F-150. It was just amazing. This one is the B&O system. It doesn't sound good. It's just too, I don't know, it's too harsh or something. And I played around with the sound settings and I couldn't really get it to sound good, basically for music. It's fine for like listening to podcasts and stuff like that. Music is kind of mediocre, okay, if you just want like some background music. But if you really want to blast it and really, have a good sound system, this really isn't it. Now this is the two-door with the V6. And so V6, it's kind of a small V6, but it's a V6 in this vehicle. And I think that's the only way you can get the two-door V6 is with the Stroppe edition. So I'm just gonna accelerate so you can hear what it sounds like. So although it's not like a race car or anything, it does sound pretty good. Now that's flooring it, and usually that kind of blows past its the RPM, the ideal RPM range. But just normal driving, it feels pretty strong. Has a nice sound to it, and it feels like adequate power. Doesn't feel like it's underpowered. It doesn't feel overpowered. It just kind of feels right for the vehicle. And of course, if you're off-roading, you're using lower gears and stuff like that, where you have a lot of torque and control and everything, especially like a four-wheel drive low type situation. But unfortunately, we're going to be just driving on the road. I'm not going to be taking it off-road. I don't have the liberty to do that. But yeah, half throttle, or just a little bit under half throttle, feels stronger than flooring it. Feels really good. Now it's rattly, it's noisy. You can hear wind noise, you can hear rattles and shakes and everything. This vehicle is primarily a cosmetic, mostly. I mean, of course it's off-road capable, but the overall design is for, to look good, right? So that's why it has that boxy shape. It's not going to get the best fuel economy and all that stuff. It has a very capable off-road system, four-wheel drive system, with the sway bar disconnect and locking differentials and all that stuff, and even help you with the turning radius, which this has an awesome turning radius already. I guess because it's a two-door, short wheelbase, but just in general, it turns on a dime. It's very, very nice just for parking spots and backing up and things like that. So I can imagine the off-road, capability with, weaving in tight spots the best you can anyway with a vehicle this size, would be nice with the turning radius and everything. Yeah, it feels really good with just put, say, like 30-40% throttle. This feels really good. Now it does have some niceties like the adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist system, but which is fine for like on the highway use. But you can just tell with the tires and the way this thing drives, it just feels like you're doing it a disservice by driving it on the road. It feels resentful for you just driving it on the road, right? It just feels, it has that feeling like you're driving a big four-wheeler and it just wants to go into the nearest field or something. It just doesn't like the road. I mean, it's fine on the road. It's okay, but it just really is designed for the off-road experience, especially with these tires and the wheels. The setup with all that rubber you have underneath you, it tends to wander a little bit on the road, probably because of that. But it's still manageable. It's fine. The suspension is soft, once again, made for off-road use, so you're going to have a little bouncy drive on the road, but kind of bouncy, shaky, a little bit of shaky going on too. I've had some issues with trying to film while I'm driving just because it's that shakiness to it. It's not like it's a tire out of balance or anything. It's not that kind of shaky. It's just in general, it's it's just not a steady ride. So yeah, it's just mostly probably because of the soft suspension and the off-road capability and all that rubber that's underneath the tires. You have somewhat of a little bit of a disconnect with the road, which is good if you're on a rocky off-road situation or bumpy, whatever the case may be with the off-road situation, and be able to handle that really nice. You could it'd be probably really good at just airing down the tires and maybe drive on the beach or going some sand and stuff like that. That would be, with these tires and the way it's set up, it'd probably be great for that as well. But I've had some issues just like, normal driving it, right? With this pillar and the side mirror combo kind of adds a significant blind spot in certain turning situations, especially like if you're going around roundabouts and stuff. This is just like blocking your entire view when you're going around a roundabout, like right where you need to see. So I don't know if they'd reposition the side mirror or what, but that would probably help out a lot. But the way this is just blocks everything right there, that's been a little bit of an issue. Other than that, I mean, fuel economy isn't great, and what was it, like less than 300 miles to a tank, that kind of thing. So yeah, the fuel, it's just the type of vehicle it is, right? And it has the idle stop, which you can easily turn off, but it's just one of those things where, I don't know, it just, this type of vehicle, you wouldn't think would have that, right? But I guess it's mandated in certain situations. I'm not really sure. Now the Stroppe, with the color combination and just the style of the vehicle and the wheels and everything, it gets attention everywhere. Like everywhere I park it, people are looking at it, and it's it's an impressive looking vehicle. I mean, it looks really good. And that's like its main value proposition to me anyway, is how good it looks, you know? If you like that kind of off-road, sporty off-road look, and you know, the retro colors too. It's kind of retro looking in a good way, not a bad way. So yeah, it's not like a green refrigerator retro. It's like a really awesome color retro. As far as the seating position and you know, I don't know, just overall comfort is tolerable, you know. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily want to go on a long trip with it. Like I said, it's not really, it's one of those type of vehicles where it has a purpose, right? And it's not a well-rounded, practical vehicle. It has some quirks or whatever. So, you know, I mean, the seat comfort's okay, and it just feels like I'm either too close to the pedals or too far away. But just the seating, you know, I don't know. It's a little bit, it takes a little bit of getting used to, just a little bit. Same thing with driving it. If you're just, I'm used to driving vehicles, you know, like this, but if you're just used to driving in just a normal car or regular SUV, and then you get in a vehicle like this with the big tires and everything, and it starts wandering around, and you know, the steering is not super duper easy to turn. So, you know, some people might have a little bit of a learning curve, or not learning curve, but just getting used to it, you know. It's not hard to drive, it's just a little bit different than just the average SUV. I tend to turn off the lane keep assist system because the vehicle kind of wanders and you get a lot of alerts when you have it on. So, and it doesn't like hold the lane solidly anyway. So you can barely notice it. All it does is just warn you when you go over the line. But yeah, you know, it just kind of nudges a little bit here. But it'll just let you know, hey, you're going over the line, and get a lot of alerts like that. So, because, like I said, it wanders, right? Especially on a windy day, but it's just in general, it just kind of wanders around. And it's wide, too, so it's very easy to get close to the lines, especially on a narrow road. This one's not too bad. Some roads are kind of narrow, so you're just, like, hugging the lines already. And then so it starts giving you all these, like, warnings. So, yeah, it's real easy to turn off. So, it's right there. The adaptive cruise control system, the radar adaptive cruise control system, where the furthest distance it has is still a little bit too close for me. I wish I had a little bit more, like maybe one more bar, one more, you know, adjustment to go a little bit further. So it just tends to be a little bit too close for my particular liking anyway. I like to have a little bit of a distance. Now, at nighttime, it has some really good pluses and really baffling negatives. So you can check out the night video and some, it's I don't know, it's just for the type of vehicle it is, and it's intended for off-road use, and then the price range, it just doesn't make any sense on some levels. But on other levels, it's pretty cool. You know, it has some features that are very useful at night that can't be demonstrated during the day. That's why I have a separate night video if you want to check it out. Although it does have some road noise, I was kind of surprised the road noise wasn't more than what it is. It's mostly wind noise and rattles inside the vehicle, you know, like just the creaking and rattling of things inside. But yeah, a lot of wind noise, but the road noise with these huge tires, you would think it'd be roaring really loud, but it's really not that bad.